And she told me that Elvis loved that song, and he had sung that to her on the day of their divorce. He said he kind of leaned in and sang a little.
Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers shared a bond that went far beyond music. Their chemistry sparked rumors, laughter, and deep admiration from fans worldwide for over 4 decades. But behind the duets and playful teasing was a connection few truly understood. Now, at 79, Dolly finally shares what they shared. Was it just friendship or something more? Let's find out. Early encounters and building connection. Years ago, before Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers' voices became inseparable, the two met and formed a beautiful friendship that the world would love and discuss. The two met in the 60s, around the same time Kenny fronted the band Kenny Rogers in the first edition. When she first heard his song, Dolly remembers listening to it and thinking how clever and beautiful it was. She was deeply captivated by how rich and harmonious his voice and the instrument used were. She admitted that she had to follow him after that collaboration to see who this beautiful voice belonged to. Safe to say, she was more than hooked on his sound long before they even met. She loved listening to how he portrayed such strong emotions in his songs, sang with such a melodious voice, and still made everyone who listened to him feel something beautiful. After she spent some time listening to him sing and loving every part of his voice, she finally crossed paths with him in 1976. And according to her, it was the best meeting she had ever experienced. The two met on Dolly's self-tilted ABC variety show, Dolly. The show debuted in January of that year, and one of the people Dolly loved to host was the high-profile guest, Kenny Rogers. His appearance at the show marked the very first time these two were working together on camera. At the time, Dolly was an upcoming singer in country music, and Kenny was already evolving into a solo country artist. Dolly was the show anchor, and it was purely formal and short, as they didn't yet consider themselves acquaintances. Though their meeting was brief, there was an abounding possibility of an affair. They exchanged pleasantries after the show, but it wasn't until years later that their connections took a turn. It was in 1983 when Kenny was recording Islands in the Stream that fate decided to step in. The track, produced by Barry Gibb of the Bee Gees, took several days to be perfected. After getting fed up, Kenny admitted that the track was nowhere near perfection. Barry Gibb suggested at that point that they bring in Dolly Parton, who coincidentally happened to be in the same building as they were. Kenny's manager found her and brought her into the studio within minutes. When she began to sing, the song came alive with distinctive characteristics. Kenny later shared that once she came in, the song changed as she brought in a whole character. That was a critical moment for them, as they became good friends from that point on. After that day, their friendship flourished. They soon discovered that they both came from humble beginnings in rural America and shared the love of storytelling through songs. We've never planned anything. It's always kind of happened, which makes our relationship so spontaneous. Kenny later considered that their relationship was not intended. Though the story began with a regard from a distance, it transitioned through unexpected experiences and imaginative flashes until it became one of music's most lasting bonds. Their early meeting, the first in the limelight of television, and the shared recording sessions set the stage for an exceptional professional connection and lifelong partnership. Musical magic. The account of Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers' enduring musical magic begins richly with Islands in the Stream. Written by Barry, Robin, and Maurice Gibb, famously called the Bee Gees, and produced by the Gibb-led team, the song was released as the lead single of Eyes That See in the Dark, Kenny's 15th studio album, on August 15, 1983. It wasn't just a mere collaboration, it was a record-breaking hit. The song climbed to #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 country and adult contemporary charts in the US. It even knocked Bonnie Tyler's Total Eclipse of the Heart off the top slot on the Hot 100. It went platinum and was later certified triple platinum when it was released in the US, accounting for over 3 million physical and digital units sold. That recording session has been classified as a musical mystery. Firstly, Kenny reportedly didn't think the song was good enough, but then the Bee Gees suggested Dolly Parton join in. Dolly, who was coincidentally in the same building, walked into the studio and changed the entire performance with just a few melodies. What began as a refined pop country track became something talked about and electrifying, because Dolly brought her melody and character. Even after several years, the song remains a classic as it was ranked #1 in CMT's 2005 poll of greatest country duets, and even Rolling Stone ranked it at No. 104 in its 200 greatest country songs of all time list. For Dolly, one of the most amazing parts was that she never got played out of it. She often said in interviews that even after singing it numerous times, she always looked forward to it in the set list, and fans loved it too. Real Love and Holiday Harmony. After topping pop charts, the duo met again to record Real Love. the title track of Dolly Parton's Real Love album. The song, co-written by David Malloy, Richard Spady Brannon, and Randy McCormick, became just their second #1 country duet hit upon release in August of the same year. Although it didn't match the pop reach of Kenny's Islands, it still debuted at number 91 on the Hot 100 and number 13 Adult Contemporary. The track inspired a 9-city U.S. grand concert tour in early 1986, involving an HBO concert special and a music video using that footage. Most excitingly, the Real Love album concluded Dolly's final release with RCA after 18 good years, making their collaboration both a turning point and a continuity show. Later that same year, they recorded a full Christmas album titled Once Upon a Christmas, which was released on October 29, 1985. Rogers and David Foster produced the album, accompanied by a CBS television special called Kenny and Dolly, A Christmas to Remember. It was equally certified 2 times platinum by the RIAA in 1989. For many fans, that Christmas album became an annual holiday need, indicating their melodies and characters meshed seamlessly. You Can't Make Old Friends. Nearly 3 decades later, in 2013, Dolly and Kenny reunited for their final duet, You Can't Make Old Friends. Released on Kenny Rogers' October 2013 album of the same name, the title track was widely received as a heartfelt tribute to their friendship. Released as a single in late 2013, the track debuted in December on the Billboard Country Airplay chart, eventually debuting at number 57, which indicated a modest showing, but one abounding with meaning. Their subsequent performance earned them a 2014 Grammy nomination for the Best Country Duo Group Performance, marking their 3rd nomination as a duo after Islands in the Stream and Real Love. The video for the track itself is outstanding. It begins in black and white with evocative flashbacks and merges performance clips with historical footage, interviews, and shared moments. Kenny refers to Dolly as my best friend. Dolly responds, I feel the same way. The visuals engage emotional effects related to history, accounting for 30 years of music, stage bromance, friendship, and shared life. It tells audiences that this collaboration wasn't just a song, but a story. Amongst this collaboration, one thing stands out: authentic connection. They were paired by fate in 1983 in a studio, and they made a wonder. By 1985, they were already going on tours together, recording holiday tracks and building signatures. In 2013, their last collaboration celebrated a friendship that has stood the test of time, something deeply humane. Critics assumed that while Real Love had the sense of contemporary country, it didn't have a Bee Gees-level style. Yet it blew up because it came from a place of sincere collaboration. The Christmas album added emotions and seasonal warmth to their catalog, which resonated with another angle on their chemistry. While You Can't Make Old Friends was more tender and communicated, far from the stadium vibe, it had a deeper meaning because of what it represented, talking about reliability, shared history, and mutual care. Even after Kenny's demise in March 2020 at age 81, Dolly has said she never gets tired of listening to them sing together and described their bond as that of loved siblings. This trio of moments, 83 pop smash, 85 country harmony, and 2013 reflective reunions, has formed the backbone of their collaboration story. It's a narrative of devotion, memories, and deep feelings, a reminder that some collaborations transition but remain deeply rooted in mutual joy and respect. Their collaborations weren't just chart fodder, they helped shape country pop crossover music and highlighted how 2 distinctive personalities can elevate each other. Songwriters and producers saw that pairing Parton's crisp soprano with Rogers' warm baritone created both harmonies and compelling stories. For audiences, each duet felt like a dialogue. Islands in the Stream was captivating and playful in tone. Real Love felt important and rested. You Can't Make Old Friends was deeply personal and engaging. And while they formed a partnership over 30 years, each melody captured a different phase: a committed union, an electric duo, and a heartfelt tribute. Chemistry and public rumors. From their initial stance on stage to years of playful jokes, Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers became similar, with a chemistry as pleasant as it was mysterious. Fans and foes speculated countlessly, but they made clear time and time again that the authentic story was one of deep, unwavering, platonic friendship and respect. In a 2014 interview, Kenny Rogers revealed their dynamic with apparent honesty. He said, "We flirted with each other for 30 years, and it was much more electric. Once you consummate a relationship like that, it loses something." He added, "It was much more electric, but there was never more." To the public, their bond looked exciting, teasing boundaries, but it stayed tastefully safe to them. Rogers said SX would have ruined a friendship. a performance that looked like romance. On the stage, Dolly brought intensity and playfulness. She once said, "I was always such a feisty little thing, doing things backstage like pinching him on the butt or something." There was so much love there that it was almost sexual in its intensity. That mischief energy gave room for rumors, yet it never got into romance. In interviews during their careers, both were bold enough to say they were family, not lovers. In Today magazine in 2017, they put it, Kenny joked, "First of all, she's hard to look at for me," Dolly retorted. "I'm not his type." Then Rogers said, "We flirted together for 30 years, but there was too much on the line to risk a good friendship." And Dolly chipped in, "We were almost like brother and sister. It would have almost been like incest." In 2013, Dolly said, "We didn't become close until after we started touring together. We would eat, hang out, and find that we liked each other. Their chemistry grew naturally, but it never switched into love, and they never pretended to like each other. For years, fans, foes, and gossip shows assumed a romance was inevitable, but both artists treated such rumors with grace and humor." According to Greensboro.com, Dolly remembered that Kenny would tell journalists, "In all fairness, Dolly and I have been accused of having an affair for the last 30 years, and we never did." During much of the duo's Apex Fame season, Marianne Gordon, Kenny's wife, said posthumously that she never felt threatened by the speculations. She was a witness to Dolly's side of the story firsthand. There's sexual tension and teasing each other, and it would screw it up if they'd gone deeply. The tension climaxed on stage for the two stars, and the respect stayed off camera. Why they stayed platonic. Kenny once capitalized it, "Once you consummate a relationship like that, it loses something," Dolly agreed. "There was always so much other stuff going for us. We never did go there. There was always so much love and friendship. We were so compatible." Their shared belief in maintaining tension alive without resolving it gave their friendship passion and mystery. It secured them from heartbreak, something Dolly held deeply as someone who'd been married to the same man for decades, while Kenny had been married several times. When Kenny Rogers announced that he would be retiring and had a farewell concert fixed in October 2017 at Nashville's Bridgestone Arena, Dolly joined him for an emotional and playful send-off. As MEAW and Biography.com reported, Dolly teased him, "We've been accused of it all through the years. You want to hold them now?" while referring to her cleavage, as Kenny shied away amid cheers from the crowd. After the jokes, they began singing classics like "I Will Always Love You" and "Islands in the Stream" together one last time, showing that their bond was deeply rooted in mutual affection and trust. When Kenny Rogers passed away in March 23, Dolly's tribute was emotional and sincere, with no illusions, just respect and love. In February 23, she told Southern Living, "I miss him so much. He was very, very dear and special. I never get tired of hearing us sing. We're like brother and sister." For the duo, rumors were just noise. Their lifelong friendship, from backstage teasing to emotional support, lasted far beyond headlines. What brings all these memories together is that their relationship was built on choice. A choice to flirt, but not to act. A choice to bond, but not to date. This choice stunted public amusement and personal stability. From Kenny's self-confessions to Dolly's tempered, boundary-setting jokes, both made it clear that their bond was unbreakable yet unromantic. The electrifying friendships they built were sustained by humor, music, a shared background, and a shared dedication to never letting rumor overshadow facts. Reflections at 79. Now, at 79 years old, Dolly Parton has begun to turn public inquisitiveness into personal remembrance. After years of explained meanings and concealed interviews, she's finally opening up, directly acknowledging rumors and honoring the truth about her bond with Kenny Rogers. No more rumors, only truth, meekness, and the knowledge of time. In a 2023 interview with People magazine, after 3 years of Rogers' passing, Dolly let herself observe with rare emotional transparency, "I miss him so much. I've lost so many wonderful people in my life in the last few years. But Kenny, he was very, very dear and special, and I never get tired of hearing us sing all the years that we were on stage together." Her voice carried an enormous, unhurried, and sincere load. She was a woman searching brightly at memories, choosing to speak with gratitude rather than loss. She stressed their years-long musical journey and public collaborations, but magnified the heart of their friendship. Not speculations or gossip, but something more profound and enduring. Dolly came on visibly affected when she spoke about Kenny's demise. "When Kenny passed away, it caught me by surprise. It just broke my heart. I was very emotional about it for several days, but now I've put it in a peaceful place, knowing he's at peace. I'll always miss him, but I'll always treasure what we had together." She remained real, even when in grief. That afternoon, in a social media post, she told followers, "You never know how much you love somebody until they're gone. I loved him with all my heart, and my heart's broken. I've had so many wonderful years and times with my friend Kenny, but above all, the music and the success. I loved him as a wonderful man and a true friend." The blend of raw mourning, gratitude, music, friendship, and years of echoes feels like the grand finale of a shared life. In these moments, Dolly captured the narrative. Their bond wasn't about fame or collaboration. It was friendship first. During that same People interview, Dolly revealed their closeness with gentle intimacy. "You know how sometimes you get tired of singing something because it just becomes routine? But I would always lighten up when that particular song was due in the set list. I never got tired of Kenny's voice." Then she paused and continued, "You can make new friends that feel like old friends, but there's something about the people who have spent years together. I knew Kenny very well. We're very similar. We're like brother and sister. He's up there singing. I know that." She expressed something more than music or stage presence. It was history, inside jokes, mutual quirks, shared beliefs, threads no duet could reproduce. That bond, she made plain, defines their soul connection. Finale built on history and harmony. Their final song, "You Can't Make Old Friends," delves decades into melody. Dolly noted, "We recorded that song just in time, too, and now I can't hardly sing it." That song, with its lyrics battling loss, season, and farewell, became not just a Grammy-nominated song, but a tribute from one friend to another. During their last performance at Rodgers' previous concert in October 2017, she illustrated the blend of amusing teasing and emotional intimacy the partners had experienced over decades. For years, the press highlighted secrets between them, but Dolly chose not to clear speculations. She chose character, purpose, and presence. Her statements about Kenny avoid emotions. Instead, she honors the whole of their friendship, the playful, the loving, the enduring. Each revelation feels molded, like writing a letter rather than releasing a press release. At 79, she's uncharacteristically outspoken, not defensive, not acting, but alive, reminiscing. She says, "He was one of my dearest, true friends. He was a man she looked up to, on and off stage, a voice she loved, singing along with." The legacy, as seen, Dolly is accepting to shape how followers remember Kenny, not as a rumor-filled collab, but a sincere affection that shaped country music history. From emotional revelation, she moved from wishing and heartbreak to tranquility, not foregoing, but accepting and setting a sound of gratitude. From historical fullness, her revelations span decades of shared tracks, humor, teasing, support, and backstories fans never saw. Dolly Parton's story has taught us a lot. One of them is that with time comes clarification. Most people rush towards getting direction without first reflecting on themselves and the moments around them, but Dolly has shown us that is not the way to go about it. Dolly waited and took time to reflect, and only when the moment felt right did she speak up. She didn't talk without knowing precisely what was essential to be said, and she took her time before she acted. She also teaches us that emotions and humor can coexist. Even when Dolly is sad that she has lost what most people say is her best friend, she still manages to laugh at his memories because it's not about remembering our loved ones in sadness. It's about remembering the good memories that were shared and working together to ensure that the memories last and are remembered in good and not bad ways. She teaches us that we should not remember our loved ones in sadness, but in joy. And one of the ways to do that is by focusing on the good memories and thinking deeply about all the precious times shared. Dolly also taught us that love doesn't always require romance. When describing her relationship with Kenny, she doesn't only describe it as one built on shared interests. She describes it as one she is hugely grateful for and even sees their bond as a family bond. She honors him. Dolly also taught us that emotions and humor can coexist. Even after the passing of the man she considered her best friend, she still strives and does everything in her power to remember him in good times and not in bad. She doesn't focus on the sad parts of their friendship. Instead, she does her best to open her eyes to their shared good memories. That way, she doesn't cry so badly when thoughts of him enter her head. Instead, she laughs at the beautiful memories that they have shared. Dolly also showed us that love does not require romance. More than once, she described how she looks up to Kenny as a big brother. She honors him as a man, performer, and friend, not a lover. She stresses that you do not have to be romantically involved with the opposite sex before developing a strong bond and relationship with them. Dolly also taught the upcoming artists that even when music and songs mattered, one of the things we should not forget or throw to the garbage was the people behind them, because most of the time, that makes the memories more memorable. At 79, Dolly Parton gives fans more than an explanation. She shares memories, heartbreak, jokes, and a reminder that some song was meant to surpass fame. It becomes tribute, testimony, and ultimately covenant. Not to rumors, but to one true friendship. Legacy together. The strength of Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers' friendship is based on two key things: their music and their unshakable respect for each other. Both parties value what they share and understand that more than anything, their bond will not be broken if they can stay committed to themselves and respect the boundaries they have set. It's safe to say that many people envy their friendship. Most times, people even believe they are in love. However, they have proved that their relationship is very platonic, based on their shared passion for music and their respect for each other's careers. The song's power has not dimmed even 30 years after Islands in the Stream was released and repeatedly topped the charts. It still stands as triple platinum in the United States. In addition, the music is still featured in lists of the greatest country duets ever written. The song shows how powerful the bond between these two is and how they have worked so hard and dedicated such greatness towards making the song one of the best the world has ever heard. That particular song alone has helped them to shape their legacy. The music combines everything people ever wanted: crossover appeal, emotional vocals, and effortless chemistry that creates a timeless piece of pop country history. However, these two's legacy does not end with their retro hits. It progresses to a more personal memory that they created for themselves. For example, in 2013, Dolly reunited with Kenny to make the beautiful track "You Can't Make Old Friends." This track was so beautifully performed by the two artists that it became a final Grammy-nominated collaboration. As a result of how the song has a deep, reflective tone around it, it soon became an anthem for friendship that has even gone on and endured beyond time. They not only made their friendship memorable, but they also went the extra mile to make it memorable for everyone else. They picked the friendships of different people and made them see the most beautiful parts of themselves. They made people draw closer to their loved ones and feel something unique, something that no other artist has been able to make them feel. When Kenny eventually died in March 2020, it left a massive scar in Dolly's life. She often spoke about how she missed him terribly. In her words, "I miss him so much. He was very dear and special. I never get tired of hearing us sing." She often described their bond as something brothers and sisters frequently shared. It wasn't a kind of connection that came easily, because even people who were biologically related most of the time did not bond as perfectly as she did with him. This vivid description of their relationship showed people that their legacy was backed by connections so deep that it felt like family. And this no longer sounded like a rumor or a spectacle because everyone had heard it from the horse's mouth. Over the years, Dolly has made people know that this legacy is the absolute truth, and she has done it by keeping the same reaction to Kenny's passing. On her social media profiles, she always talks about how she loved him as a friend and that the music they shared is something she will continue to cherish deeply. She emphasizes that even when music brought them together, their common interest in many topics and their respect for each other brought them closer and strengthened their bond. So today, when we listen to Islands in the Stream, You Can't Make Old Friends, or even Real Love and Holiday collaborations, we do not just hear the tracks sung or listen to the lyrics alone. We also revisit many chapters of their friendship, a friendship so strong that it defined and outlasted an era. These songs are emotional milestones: the first spark, enduring harmony, and final tribute. The legacy that they built over time is evident. It proves that a duet could still be phenomenal and serve as an emotional anchor while still being a friendship vessel both parties can rely on and enjoy. They showed that such friendships can help both parties grow and establish themselves enough to become the best versions of themselves. However, their legacy, the respect, laughter, teasing, and emotional safety they afforded each other resonates most profoundly. Even now, years after Kenny's demise, Dolly's reflections on stage, in interviews, and through social media frame their story not as gossip fodder, but as a living testament to what genuine mutual respect and affection look like in the spotlight. So, what do you think? Was their bond truly just friendship, or did it run deeper than words can say? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more heartfelt stories like this.